Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And welcome back to a Money Talk Monday. What's going on, everybody? Now, as you guys know, I normally start at 10 o'clock. We're here at 10:30 because you guys know I've been running around like crazy. I leave for Miami tomorrow, and then after Miami, I head out to Mexico for the week, and then back to Miami for another half a week. So I've been doing a lot of stuff, and hey, we here. As I was watching, as I've been doing a lot of stuff, getting my last minute things in order for my trip to Mexico, I've been watching like a lot of I once again I have to applaud YouTube for what it actually is, not for what people use it as, but for what it actually is. YouTube is a catalog of information, of data, of stuff that can help you learn. It can entertain you. YouTube is a tool to be used however you want to use it. And during the course of this last couple of days, I've been using YouTube to go back and watch a lot of debates, watch a lot of different black speakers and Congress, not Congress, different type of things. And I think the last one I watched was with Angela Davis, Stokely Carmichael, and a bunch of other black leaders who were in like a summit where they were discussing the economical difference in everything. And I started hearing everybody say, "Oh, everything is about crony. I mean, it's all about capitalism. Capitalism is the reason why we're in the predicament we're in. Capitalism is not good." And it's like, if it's not capitalism, then you're a socialist, and if you're not a socialist, then you're a capitalist. And it felt like something was missing because my interpretation of what is going on was completely different. And the thing is that I always watch this stuff because I want to get information. I want to get data. I want to get knowledge about this stuff because it helps me uh develop my belief to make sure I'm not a hypocrite in anything I do. So as I started digging deep more into it, I started realizing everyone kept saying the United States is a capitalistic system. On the news, they say the United States is a capitalist system, and everything is wrong with it. On the stock market, everyone's saying it's a capitalist system, but the actions are not that of a capitalist system. For those that don't know, I'm going to define capitalism and I'm going to define cronyism for you guys, so we can have a discussion about this. First, let me shout out everybody in the room. Shout out to Global Paper, Brazil and Da, Models and Bottles. I know you are in Sao Paulo. Our investments in Da, Shoe Games, Bananas. Checking from Brazil, Sao Paulo. We know. Jay the Great, what's going on? Rio the Aviator, salute, man. Hope you guys hit the like button. All right, so let's go in. Now, first thing I want to do is to give you the definitions because it's very, for what we're going to talk about, is very important that we have the definitions. And the best part is that it doesn't matter how many people come in the room, doesn't matter how many likes it's got, because once it's out into the YouTube world, the message is out. And I think that's the most important thing. But let's get to capitalism. Capitalism is an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than the state. In that case, I need to actually let me also look up the definition for socialism so you guys understand. We're gonna go from showing you what capitalism is to showing you what socialism is. Let's see. Socialism definition. And socialism is a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned and regulated by a community as a whole. So let me try to give you my layman terms definition of both. A capitalistic system is one where you make money by the amount of work you do. It's not like it's you whatever work you get paid for your work. In the socialism system, it's more like we all work and we put it to a pot, and then the pot gets split out evenly. And then I'm going to talk about cronyism. And what cronyism is is the appointment of friends and associates to positions of authority without proper regard to their qualification. And I'm going to show you how that blends in and how the United States is not a capitalistic society, a capitalism. What it is a cronyism disguised in capitalist. And I'm gonna break that down. And the whole thing with that, what I'm trying to say by that is that no matter if it's socialism or capitalism in the United States, it's still cronyism. And I feel as though once we understand what's really going on, we can really finally figure a way to work out for the best. This is not to try to get you guys to be upset and get everybody to say, oh, we know America was behind doing this stuff, and this is no. What this is for you to have a tool to understand how things are, so you can pick a solution that works for you to get you in the position you want to be. Because you can complain all you want, you can be mad how you want, but this is how life is. If you know how life is, you can design your life. So let me go into it some more. All right, so check this out. Shout out to everybody else in the room, man. Let me see. Okay, KJ Foster back in the building. He says, I would be open to discuss. What I'll do is, like I said, once I get my little soliloquy out and what I'm saying, I'll put the link in the room and let everybody discuss. You got it, Jay the Great, man. Earn money. What it do? All right, so here's where I'm gonna go into it. All right, capitalism. Let's link back capitalism. Hold up, let me add another one. Definition of capitalism. Oh, no. Definition of capitalism. Let's bring that back up again. All right, so once again, I'm going to repeat because we're going to talk about how they're saying that United States is a capitalist system, and I'm going to break down to you examples and actions that have happened not 30 years ago, not 100 years ago. I'm talking about recently that shows you it's more cronyism than capitalism. Once again, capitalism is an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners rather than the state. In 2020, a pandemic happened. During the course of that pandemic, the government of the United States, I can only speak for the United States, shut down certain businesses. Little businesses, small businesses that could have figured out a way to operate through a pandemic were forced to shut down by the government. Here's where it goes from capitalism to cronyism. See, capitalism would have meant all businesses shut down. You need to shut everything down and let nature take its course. But that's not what the government did. What the government did was they picked, and this, once again, the government is not a private owner, it is the state. So what the government did was the government picked and chose who could be open and allowed them to adapt to the rules that they needed to adapt to. So instead of saying, okay, Jamal, your store, your grocery store has to close, but we're going to allow Stop and Shop to stay open. Eric, your clothing store has to close, but we're going to allow Walmart to stay open. This is not capitalism. The free market. This is cronyism. The government chooses who it wants to stay open. And you say, oh, well, the government's not really friends with these people. Yes, they are. Because the whole thing is, if you are part of the state and there's a private corporation, you have to keep the state and the private corporation separated. But if I'm allowing you to stay open and telling other stores to stay, that's favoritism. It's favoritism. And it's not a free market. Thus, it's not capitalism, it's cronyism. If I take it back a little bit further, 2008, when all of the banks had lent out too much money for houses and everything crashed and everything went crazy, everything crashed. And they said, and the government comes and says, hey, the banks are too big to fail. We're going to bail them out. Well, that's cronyism again, because you're not bailing out the small companies. You're not just letting the free market happen and the capitalist system work the way it's supposed to work, where some banks just won't make it. You're bailing out everyone. And I know they're going to say, oh, but people would have lost their jobs, people would have did this. But if you're living in a capitalist system, that's what's supposed to happen. Because when things break apart, bigger things grow. But if you stop things from breaking apart, if you stop things from breaking apart because you want to choose who you want to be around, then you're not following what capitalist laws are. You're not following the capitalistic system, and it's the simplest thing in the world because it can be proven by the actions. I don't have to give you, And here's one thing I said. I said in the description, a lot of leaders from the past, whether black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Latin American, Native American, a lot of leaders from the past kept fighting the fact that they kept saying capitalism is the reason why they have the big wealth gap. Capitalism is the big reason why they got all these homeless people. But you can't fight the capitalism because true free market capitalism is probably the best, to me, is the best option we have right now. But what we have right now is not capitalism. It's cronyism. So it becomes a circle over and over. And the people at the top don't care because they know for a fact that no one can prove that capitalism isn't the best. But if we start to point out that it's cronyism, things may change. You know what I mean? If you for some strange reason, and this is just my perspective, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm just going by actions. That's the only thing I can go by. If you for some particular reason think there's a big difference in the Democrats and the Republicans, you have been fooled because they're both governed by the same party, just for example, recently I try to keep everything recent, and I'm gonna post a thing in the room because I feel as though I got what I wanted to say off my chest, and now I'm gonna post a link in the room so people can come and talk. But even recently, we're forgetting that when things don't pass through the House, and when things don't pass through the Senate, when things don't pass through the government, that's the government having an issue, right? With the government having an issue with the way things are going, it's hard to explain. I don't want to get too political about things, so let me add people in the room, have people see what you guys think. What's going on? Words of weapons. So I'm gonna put the link in the room. I just wanted to talk about this because it was something on my mind, and I just wanted to put it out there. Let's see, share link. Hold up. Wait 1 second. 1 second, everybody. All right, let me stop sharing. Invite to the room. Copy the clipboard, and I'll post it in the room. So people who may have more information on it than I do can come in and talk. But like I said, I'm a man who goes by actions. I don't go by what somebody says. I go by what your actions prove. And it's been proven time over time that the government is going to pick and choose winners and losers. And here's one major problem with what is happening today, I think. Let's say you have a race, right? You have a race. Everybody lines up in order. It's a race. It's 5 people, right? You say, okay, these 3 people take 3 steps forward, right? And then you say this one person take 1 step back, right? So now you got one person that's behind the 0 point. You got one person on the 0 point, and you got 3 people you got 3 people that's 3 steps ahead, right? If you tell the people in the front that when I say go, right? This is what the school system is. This is part of the school system. I know I'm a little off topic, but just try to bear with me. This is what if your school system, here's the school system. If the school system teaches you, it doesn't teach everybody equally. With those 3 people at the front, you tell them, when I say go, you can go. And then the person behind them, you say, when you see the first person go, you go. And you person behind them, you see the first person go, you go. That wealth gap, that gap is going to always be the same because the people in the front are always going to have the lead. Even if everything was equal, if you push money from the back in the front and everybody just keeps getting the same amount of money, that lead is gonna keep being the same. But it's crazy, man. It's just so crazy. Like I got so many topics. I'm gonna try to show you guys the that's what I want to do. Until somebody comes in the room, I'm gonna try to show you guys exactly what I was watching because I don't want to miss. And I know I can't play it, but fair use fair use. We're discussing this. I'm going to try to play it. Hopefully, it's fair use. I believe it is. Chrome, open the Chrome tab again until somebody comes in. When somebody comes in the room, then I'll just we'll go back to talking about cronyism and capitalism, man. And the whole thing, like I said, the whole point of this is not to get you upset. The whole point of this is not to complain about the government and say, oh, the government doesn't want us to win and all this stuff. The whole point of this is so that you know what's going on, so that you can make a decision that helps you and your family the most. Because I mean, I feel as though, I'm pretty good in a pretty good place. I'm 37 years old. I own two houses in Jersey. I own a condo in Miami. I own a bunch of stocks, cars, and all this stuff. And I'm other than my good debt of my houses, I'm debt free. So it's like I try. Like I was watching so much stuff on YouTube, man. I try to tell people, like, not to say I'm the most perfect person. Of course, there's people who are better, who are more financially educated. There's people who are better off in financial standards. But what I say is this: before you choose who you are going to listen to, we're like videos. I like it. Before you choose who you're going to listen to, you should probably really look into their history, man, because a lot of people that are teaching you stuff, they're not in the position that you really want to be in. They just trying to teach you stuff. Oh man, I've been watching a lot of stuff. Wow. Let's see. You guys can see all the stuff I've been watching. Let's see. Here we go. I was watching this. All right. This is what I was watching. I was watching the Black Leaders discussion with Angela Davis, Kwame Tunar, Fannie Lou Hammer, and a couple other people. And this is pretty good. Like I said, I'll probably put this link in the description box after I finish, but after this thing is over. But let me see. Master Mark, what's going on, man? Pilot, I get what you're saying. The game is rigged. Here's the thing about people saying the game is rigged. Rigged would mean that it's a way it's supposed to work, and it's somebody's cheating. That's what it would mean. Rigged would mean that I believe that it's supposed to work one way, but somebody's cheating. They're shaking up the game. But no, I feel as though this is the way it's supposed to work, and we just have to come to an understanding that it's never going to work the way that's fair. It's going to work the way it is. So it's better. And here's why I agreed with a lot of stuff that was said in a lot of these meetings about economics and all this stuff. What I didn't agree with, what I don't typically agree with a lot of Black leaders, I can only speak on Black leaders because that's what I watch. What I typically don't agree with is their conclusion to it, because I feel as though not a lot of them know the globalization of the world, and a lot of them don't really, I guess, travel the way we travel to see how other things work in person versus reading the book. So if we rather than try to change the system, if we take our finances out and put our finances somewhere where it's better used, where we're more appreciated. If we go where we're appreciated and not tolerated, and I'm not saying leave America, because there are people who feel as though the answer is to leave the United States. I definitely don't feel like that's the answer. I think I won't say it's the worst thing, but it's close to being the worst thing. I feel as though if we can come up with like-minded people, because like I said, only 15% to me, because of the schooling that we're getting in the United States, only 15% of Black people, and I can only speak for Black people, but only 15, I only speak as a Black person rather, not for, but only 15% of Black people are going to get it, because school teaches you in a cycle to not really understand none of this stuff, to think about other stuff. Like, yes, I watch basketball sometimes. Yes, I might watch football, but that's not a major part of my life. I mean, I might get involved with the gossip, but that's not a major part of my life. I see what life could be for people who focus on what they want. It's not, like I said, you guys see my channel, so I'm not one of them guys that's just gonna sit here and talk about money all the time. I'm a party. I'm gonna have some beautiful women. I'm gonna take these trips. I'm gonna drive some nice stuff. But I also am going to do some research to make sure I don't end up in a predicament that we've been in for 400, 300 years. And I think a lot of the Black leaders of today, and I don't want to knock them, just say I just think a lot of the black leaders of today are still using strategies from the past that never worked. And crony capitalism is the worst. Charlotte, I don't know if I separate it. Like I can understand people might think because they hide the cronyism of it through capitalism. I can see why some people would think it's the same thing, but I think it's two separate things. Excuse me. I feel as though the cronyism is the friendship between the behind the scenes friendship between the Democrats and the Republicans, the behind the friendships between the president and the wealthy people. I think that is also it's like this. So let's say if anybody watches basketball, we're gonna use a basketball reference. Let's say LeBron James and the Lakers go against the Milwaukee Bucks, right? If you watch the All-Star game, they go against the Milwaukee Bucks, right? I can't pronounce his name, but you know what I'm talking about, right? I need to get someone can pronounce his name. Hold up. Let's say LeBron James the Lakers goes against the Warriors, right? LeBron James goes against Steph Curry. When they going at each other, they're gonna make it seem like a good game, right? But ultimately, when they play in like the All-Star game, they're together, and that's how it is with like with I feel this how I feel as though it is with like the government versus the people, and it's not just black people; it's the people of poverty or the people just in the system in general. They build people to be workers. They don't want people to exceed to the level they're at. And if you get close enough to the level they're at, they'll switch it up. Let me see. What's going on, real brother? Cronyism, capitalism is capitalism. I don't think so. Whatever, man. Everybody has a different opinion, but I think cronyism, like, is there a definition up here still? Yes, I do. Cronyism, like I said, is the appointment of friends and associates to positions of authority without proper regard to the qualifications. That is, to me, that is completely separate from hold up. That is completely separate from definition of capitalism. From an economic political system, which the country trade is controlled by private owners. See, because rather than the state. Because the whole thing is that the state makes the decisions. Like, just like I said, if you guys just walking in, I said earlier, in 2020, when the state decided on who was going to be able to stay open and who had to shut down, that right there is cronyism, because it's not the private institutions that's choosing who's going to stay open, who's going to close. That's the state choosing. That's I want Walmart to be open. I want Popeyes, KFC to be open, but I want Juan to close down his store. I want Raul to close down his store. I want Paula to close down her store. That right there is different. That's completely different. Like I said, that's the complete different definition. That's the complete opposite of definition from what capitalism is, where the private partners decide or control it. Like I said, the key emphasis on this definition is industries are controlled by private owners rather than by the state. So that's why I make a difference in it, man. Get those Nancy. Like I said, I don't even know, and that's even that's a little extra stuff right there. Like you gotta presume that if the government people, if the people in the government know what's going to happen, if it's just common sense. If I know I could put a law out to stop this company from being able to function, then I can bet against this company and I can win. It's common sense. Yes, I might have to tell you what I'm doing, but who really watches it? So we gotta stop. I feel as though my opinion, and like, my fault, KJ, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly, man.
All right. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh no, I just feel as though we gotta stop as people. I keep saying people because I don't want people to think this is just a black thing. This is a poor white thing. This is a poor Hispanic thing. Listen, we as people have to stop trying to change the government or change the status quo, and we also have to stop complaining. We have to try to work the status quo in our favor, because we not ever going to be able to change it. KJ?
I think the best way I look at cronyism, look at it from a standpoint of like youth sports. right? When the coach's kid is playing in the premier position and knowing good and well he ain't qualified to be there, and that's a good way of looking at cronyism, favoritism at the highest level, nepotism, things of that nature. Sure, but it goes back to just knowing the game, and that's what I like about what you're saying. If you know the game, then you can play it, right? And even though you could be at a disadvantage, you got to find ways to turn it to make it your advantage, right? And that's the biggest thing. Sometimes that's you moving from a situation, right? If you know that you can't advance, capitalism. And even though I read your definition, and I know it's a definition that's given, it is private is one aspect of it, but that's in government too. It's heavy in government, capitalism, right? Just look at the structure of taxes, right? How the tax structure is designed, and right, it's designed to take 21% of your money, and what are they actually doing with it, right? It's stock is a continuous stock of money that they're using for whatever they want to use it for. All right. And so I understand what they're saying by quote unquote definition, when they say capitalism is by private. No, the biggest capitalism is the government, at least here in the United States. Ace, right? And I work in government, so I'm telling you, it really is.
But do you feel as though capitalism and cronyism are together, or you think that because I feel as though it's separate? It sounds like you feel as though it might be together. Like
no, I think it's together from a capitalist perspective and also from a socialist perspective. Cronyism, they go both ways. As I told you in the last show, my wife is from Kenya. I mean, it's about socialist you can get, and comparing it to the United States. But yeah, they elect people in power. They put relatives there. They put their friends there, political supporters in those particular positions, so they can gain, even though it's supposed to be everyone shares. Right. The biggest example of that, going back in history, I know you say you like to keep things current, but just go back and take a look at Russian history back in 1914, right? When they talked about the Bolsheviks going, and then the current communist or Marxism that they talk about as of today, that we grew up understanding, right? But before that, again, it was about the peasants. It was about they're trying to gain wealth in the whole 9 yards, and then all of a sudden, the Bolsheviks came in and said, "No, we're gonna make everything sharing for everybody." All right, so it's a cycle. They go hand in hand.
Now, I do believe that cronyism can be in socialism and capitalism, because at the end of the day, if it's in socialism, the people who are in charge are going to put or they're going to give the money or give the most to the people who they're cool with, right? Same way with capitalism. However, I think for the longest, our leaders have been attacking capitalism, and I feel as though if you can separate that, because the free market is not supposed to work that way. Capitalism is not supposed to work that way. By definition, capitalism is not supposed to work that way. However, it does, because the people at the top just can't release the cronyism out of their capitalism. But I think because when you try to attack capitalism, because the system I feel as though and if by definition, by the way it runs, capitalism is the best system if it runs free market where the government doesn't decide. But can we really even separate that though? Is that a possibility? Is the question that I think that we need to be, that people that's more more educated than me and need to be discussing. Like, can we really separate capitalism from it? Because if we can, then we can fix the problem. If not, then it's just not going to ever be fixed, no matter which way we go.
Yeah, I think it's can you separate it? I just think you just have to learn the game. It really is. It's just about learning the game, and so you can thrive within it. I'm looking at your chat here. I guess
I'm trying to pose it.
Was it OG 1917? You said about Chicago. Yeah, I live in the suburbs of Chicago. You're right on that one. But yeah, and I understand it's tough to separate them, but you got to find your way and navigate within them.
Mm-hmm. You see, I still prefer some kind of free market system over socialism. I do also too. The reason why I prefer a free market system, and that's why I say I started this off with saying capitalism isn't the problem, it's cronyism, is because I understand at least when if let's just say we added it together, let's say it was capitalist cronyism or cronyism capitalist and socialism cronyism, I would still take capitalist cronyism over because you have a chance. Socialist cronyism, you really don't have any chance. Like you have no chance to even grow past what you can grow because you're giving all your money in. You know what I mean? So that's where I sit with that, man. That's cool. That's cool, King James. And like I said, I try to be cautious with how I say because I understand how they try to move people. Like I said, I am in belief that true free market capitalism is the best way we have right now. But I also been to Cuba, so it's like, I don't want to, because every time somebody comes back from Cuba, they try to put this like thing on them where they're like, oh, they went over there and they became communists. No. But I understand that aspect of it. But I just feel as though in the United States you can't get the government that much power. It just wouldn't. It would never work well. It would never work well for us. You know what I mean? So, let me see. I still prefer. Yeah, definitely. Government does not work. It works. Here's what it is. It works the way it's supposed to work. The issue is the way people think it's supposed to work isn't how it's supposed to work. Isn't the way it works. You know what I mean? Like we think it's supposed to be a fair freedom for all democracy. It's not. It's not. And here, let me break it down to what happened from the beginning of, and Buck Travel will add you in 1 second. Let me break it down to people who don't know in the beginning. Just a quick history lesson. You know, I do a lot of research. Whenever I speak on something, I do research. Back in the days before the United States was discovered, the nobles, the wealthy people in England could not reach status of a noble or the prince because they had to have it in their blood. It had to be royalty, it had to be passed down. So the money they had only got them to a certain level of power. They didn't like that. They wanted their money to make them as much power as they could. So when they heard about a place far west that they could discover, in their head they thought, okay, we could go there and create a place, a society where where our family name doesn't determine our power, but our money determines our power. Then they convinced the Queen of England, the Queen of Spain, and Portugal. They convinced these people that, hey, we can go over there and it can help us out, right? Then they came over here, discovered America, discovered Brazil, discovered Hispaniola, Haiti and Dominican Republic, and they said, okay, now we're going to create our own society. Forget everybody. This is what they did. They said, yo, they had this in their mind the whole time that they was gonna come over here and create this place where their wealth can get them. And they came over here. They fed England a lie. They fed them all lies. It worked. They was dumb. They came over here, built it. The revolution happened. Now they have no ties with these people, and we have a society where your money determines how much power you have. Not the government. The government is just a optical illusion. It's a puppet. What really controls who has power in the United States is money. It's money. Like I can like get pulled over by the cops, right? And they can come over here and they can get all authority on me stuff, and they can get mad, write me a ticket. But I can look at their face and be like, hey, bro, and I like cops. I have family members of cops, I have friends of cops. But I can look at them and be like, yo, bro, if I really wanted to be brolic, cocky, you make $60,000 a year, bro. Don't look at me like you my boss, bro. You know what I mean? because money is power. Money is power in the United States. So, what do you think, man?
No, yeah, money is power, or as a matter of fact, it's the ultimate power. Or just think about it: if Bill Gates wanted to sit back and change the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's making one phone call.
You're right.
Right? Okay, that's big. Bill Gates is big. Let's talk about a basketball player. Like we talk about basketball. If LeBron James wanted to make us think about something, right? In the NBA, he could go ahead and do that. And it's not because of how great he is as a player. It's how much money he's bringing to the NBA. Hey, right? All right, you know what I'm saying? And so there's money is king, and you made a mention about a police officer, right? Again, I work for government, right? I have seen during the pandemic where there was clear violations of ordinance, okay? Right? And
you sure you can say this, man? I can't. I don't want to delete the episode.
Say again?
I said, you sure you want to say that? Because I don't want to have to delete the episode.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. No, I have seen individuals use their power to override certain things, right? And when I say power, their money to override certain things,
right.
Is right. So yeah, I mean, you just look at Chicago. And I don't live in Chicago, so but all you do is look at Chicago. Chicago is the biggest one, right? Yeah. New York City. I just left there. Okay, I just literally was there in January, listening to some of the stories. I'm like, oh, well, why is this place open?
Because they had the money to stay open.
Bingo.
Right. I think we have to. I keep saying I speak as Black people, but I think we have to. We don't have to, but I try to get enough people who come from where I come from to understand this, because this is the reason why you people get mad. They get mad because they don't understand the system and they think it's something wrong with it, but it's not. It's just the way it's set up. They feed you this narrative that it's a world where everyone's created equal, but that's not where the system. It's never been that. But if that's what people want to believe, they believe in. They want to believe in Santa Claus. Then, if it gets you through the day, I guess could it be a bad thing? I don't know. But at the end of the day, man, it's about money.
Yeah, the more money you have, the more, like I said, the more you can control the situation. Right? Right. I mean, that's pretty much it. And it's not even that you have money. It's the if there's a perception that you have money, right, or you have access to money, right, that also gives you a sense of power also as well. So if you're a mayor, or if you are a senator or something like that, they may not have a lot of money as in what's in the bank, but they have access and be able to control a lot of the money, right? Therefore, that's how they get the power also as well. Right. And when you're talking about, you talk about capitalism, right? I tell you how government can play in this a little bit, right? So let's say there is I won't go too much details, but let's say there is something that's going to hurt the environment. Okay. Right. And this one particular company can make millions, if not billions of dollars. We know this is going to hurt the environment.
Right.
They will lobby to this particular government agency or lobby to this party or this person, right, to allow this action to happen.
Even though it's gonna hurt
everybody,
because
right?
It's making okay.
Right. And then they'll come back and say something to the effect of, well, this thing that's going to hurt us, it's going to create
jobs.
Right. So they pivot off of it. Right. No, it's going to hurt people 50 years from now. But you know what? We might not be around 50 years from now. Right. All right. So again, is being able to have access to money. Right. If you're a government official, so I won't say police officers and things like that. That's different, right? But if you have access to power, you can make things move. Oh yeah, you're pretty powerful.
Now listen, you got fellas, ladies, whoever's in the chat, whoever's watching this later, You got two brothers right here trying to explain to you exactly how the system is, and not that you need to really try to change the system. You just got to figure out a way to win in the system. KJ found out a hell of a way to win, not only in this system, but how to go. He's winning in another country, So like, you can't. I mean, we can make all the excuses we want. Oh, the man's trying to hold us back. Oh, we need to form up and form our own party and this kind of party and that kind of party. But right now, the United States is foreseeably going to be the #1 economy in the world for at least my lifetime. So if you're focusing on that being the change, oh, China's going to take over. I mean, then I don't know what to tell you. But you guys got to start trying to make decisions now. Like I said, my whole thing is this. The first thing you have to do is, if you have any major credit card debt, make sure you get that off. That's the most important thing, because debt can hold you down from doing anything. Most important thing, make sure you have, aside from your health, make sure your debt's paid off. Secondly, you want to put, I say put 10% away. Put 10% away. 10% of your income away. Now, if here's a way you can do it easier. If you have a company that has a 401k and they match your 401k, they match 5%, you only got to put 5% in, because that's still going to be 10% you're putting away. If they match 6%, you only got to put 4% in. You only got to put 4% in, because they're gonna, or 6%, 5%, whatever. But you're gonna have to put 10%. Have whatever it is, you got to put 10% away. You take that 10-year plan. I'm 37. 10 years, I can do it now. I'm 47. I would be financially free again. 50 years, 52, right?
No, I'm 48. I'll be 48 this year.
48. By 58, he could do the same thing. And this is the whole thing, fellas. Ladies, this is the whole thing. You got to make a change, because at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you want to worry about what, because it's going to get nasty in the future. The government, I mean, it's going to get to a point where they're not going to be able to do anything. Let's say even if they wanted to do something, inflation to be too high, or nobody wants to sign, or the filibuster be still going. Nobody wants to give out money to anybody anymore. You don't want to put your family in that predicament. You just don't want to.
Let me say something. This is not. I don't want to pivot on what you say, but you're making a good point about saving, or basically saving money and how to retire. That's essentially what you're saying, right?
Right.
Here, I see somebody say I'm dropping some game. Let me give you some serious game. Right. First, you need a financial advisor. Right. That's the first thing. Right. All right. Now, let me turn everybody off and against what I'm about to say. A good financial advisor costs you about $3,000 to $6,000 a year, right? A really good one, right? That's right. Yeah, you see, right? Everybody go draw back like, whoa, that how much? Yeah. I'm gonna show you how something that was said to me earlier on. It says, are you going to be able to focus on your dreams and vision, or are you going to be affected by the circumstances around you, right? Mm-hmm. Right, so think about this for a second. I said you need a financial advisor. That's right. You just need someone to help you. Here's some game for you, and I'll let it go from here. Go to your local university, the state university, because they're usually cheaper than private schools, right? Mm-hmm. Take a financial management class, right? Mm-hmm. Cost you probably $1,000. You get a book. You learn the foundation and the basics, right? Come back with $2,500. Go talk to that same professor and tell the professor you're going to give that $2,500 to the university. I need for you to do a wealth management class on my status. Now you're going to have 20 to 25 students under the guidance of a professor working on your stuff that you can do for 5 to 10 years. Right. Okay. And therefore, now that, remember I said $6,000, no, $3,000 to $6,000, you spread that over 10 years. Now it's $250 a year. That's great. And they're going to lay it out for you all the way through. Right? Yeah. Now that's game.
That's smart. I never heard of nothing like that.
Right. But here's the catch though, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't make this up. Okay, let's get that square. I didn't make this up at all. But it's because I went to college. I went to University of Miami, right? I got my master's from the University of Michigan. I took those classes, We did
Right.
it for Sears Roebuck. We did it for Deloitte and Touche, who I used to work for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we did those strategies for those companies.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of doing it for those companies, do it for yourself.
Yeah, that is right.
Right. And it's real easy to do. I'm telling you, $2,500, you might get away with it for $1,500, depending on where you go.
Chop Squad says, I'm becoming a minimalist. Financial freedom. I will not owe anything in 5 years. Monopoly, own houses. Here's one thing I'll say though. As Black people in our community has really ingrained in us that we have to be flashy or impress others from youth. Most of us, I say a lot. I can't say everybody, but most of us from youth have always had this thing where we had to, we had to impress. We have to even when your parents said, "No, baby, put on the good clothes for church, so you can go to church looking good, so I can look good because everybody else needs to know that my son is coming here looking good, or my daughter is coming here." It's just ingrained in us over time. It's not something that we're going to be able to easily give up. So I try to stop away, and that's kind of what I do my channel, where I show people I live this crazy wild life, but I still budget and stuff because I understand how hard it is for a Black person to be a minimalist. It's very hard, man. I'd say maybe get 30% of the people that would do this, even 30% at most. So I would say rather than being a minimalist, just do this 10% save, because you can save 10%. 10% ain't gonna kill you. Me, I saved 12%, 6 and 6. My company matched 6, but you can save 10%. But being a minimalist takes a lot, man.
Yeah, that takes a lot of well, I mean, discipline. It's discipline. I love Scotch, so clearly I would be.
Ain't come back. I ain't come back that much. That's expensive.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I love Scotch, so that can be expensive. But no, the thing is it's just being smart. You know who a good person to study really. Study Floyd Mayweather. Right. Think about this for a second. Study Floyd.
I'm listening.
Watch and see how he came from nothing and got to something.
Right.
Those foundations never changed. Even you go back to the railroad typhoons and your Bill Gates and all the same. These guys didn't have anything. No, Bill Gates wasn't a millionaire before he became a billionaire.
Right.
Right. It's hard. Just a step-by-step process that they took to become, or Mayweather took to become what he was. He had to learn. The key is education. Mm-hmm. That is the key. He learned, okay, I ain't gonna make any money unless I get my own business.
Right, he did.
I ain't gonna make any money until I get my own business and start promoting my own fights. Entering in contracts with right. Entering in contracts with our pay-per-views. Right. That's but he had to learn that. All right. So that's the key. Just look at, like I said, look at how he did those things. He's right. And I'm going to tell you, 20 years from now, he will be a case study in a university. I promise you. And I'm talking about like one of Ivy League schools.
Right.
He will be a case study, if not a guest lecturer at one of them. Mark my words on that.
So slowly but slowly, I think more of us are starting to see this because, like you said, Floyd Mayweather seen past just being a boxer. If we go, even LeBron James kind of sees past. He sees past being just a basketball player. I don't know if it's only the people that make that much money that can do that though. Like, am I looking at like, what's somebody from the Brooklyn Nets? Am I looking at some base level basketball player thinking the same way? I don't know.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do this. And I used to have this on a chart. I'm not sure what the magical number is, but I believe if you start saving, I think it's like $50 a paycheck, every paycheck at 6% interest, starting, I believe it's 18 until you like 60, you're a millionaire.
Oh, I see one of those right there. Yeah,
I think it's like you're a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
Right. But it starts with a start. You got to start somewhere, right? And right, and you have to be consistent. You got to be diligent. Like treat You said about your 401k, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great example of how you can save money. Because you never seen it, right?
And you can't reach it so
You
easily.
can't reach it, so you can't spend it. But on the flip side of it, if you are trying to save money, treat it like a bill. You got to pay that bill every single
Okay,
pay
yeah.
period. Treat it like a bill. You got to put it in there. You got to put it in there. It may be $25. All right, you can start small. And as your financial
Status gets better.
it gets better, you can put more in there. Yeah, but you have to start. That's the key. You have to start.
I think me personally, everybody, I'm telling you guys, I think you really have to put it somewhere where you can't have access to it, or at least not easily. And that's why everybody says a 401k. I watch Dave Ramsey, but I don't follow that trend because I don't think as people of a minority we can ever get wealthy if we don't use that. I don't think we can ever get wealthy if we don't use that. Um, at the same token, like if you can see the money and you can touch it, it's going to be harder to save. No matter how disciplined you are, if I know I can just go to the bank and take all the money out, it's going to be harder to really build your thing. So that's even though everybody says, "Oh, the 401k is useless, you can use your money other places." Even if they don't match your 401k, I feel as though it's better because it's a better idea to put it there because you won't be able to grab the money out and and if you don't grab it out, you'll find another way to get past whatever issue you have.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things too is not only be able to have access to it immediately, right? Right? Because that's when you start buying the nice shiny objects, right? Oh, I need this. Do you really need this new car? Can you wait a year? And those are the types of things that get you in not so much debt, but it dwindles your the back end of your earnings, right? That's what kills it because you're taking it early. You're taking it early. You're not allowing it to grow all the way down the line. But yeah, if you don't have access to it, and that's very tough. It's tough to go look at your 401k and it's sitting there with $250,000, right? And you need a new furnace, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But on the flip side, if you work on getting that new furnace and not touch that, you could buy 100 furnaces
It'll
down the
grow.
road, right? So I mean, yeah, like I said, it's tough. You don't have access to it. I mean, and then don't also one more thing too. Don't have the mentality that well, I might not live to see it. Right. Right.
Another
That's
excuse. Another
right,
excuse.
right. You know what? Hey man, hey, I'm riding to die.
YOLO.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't have that excuse either. Look at it as a great starting mechanism for your children, right? Or even your wife or your spouse, right? Look at it that way. Even though you worked hard to try to get this wealth, you can pass it down to the next person, so now they can continue to build from it. Right.
Yeah, or at least they don't have to work as hard as you work.
Bingo.
I mean that to me that was my biggest drive. Like I don't want my kids to have to go through what I had to go through to get to where I was at, and that was my biggest for me because like I know a lot of people don't have kids, but for me that was my biggest thing because I didn't want to see my son go through what I had to go through. So it's like I understand how some people could say, well, I don't want to work this hard to not be able to spend that, and I understand, and that's why I try to tell you, your mental is important, and that's why I focus. My whole biggest thing is just the 10% away. First of all, debt. Like I said, debt. Pay that off. Always pay that off because high interest debt can stop you from even be able to save any money. But yeah, definitely 10% because like I said, I would with the 10%, with the 16, with the 12% I was putting away in my 401k for 12 years, I was still able to travel the world. I was still able to have decent cars. I didn't have no car note, but I had some decent cars. I owned big rims and all that stuff. I was able to support myself. I got a roommate. I moved out at 18. So I'm not saying this as you got to be a minimalist and penny pinch. I'm just showing you guys. And the best part is that most of my story, like 80 to 90% of my story is on my YouTube channel. So you can actually see me going through the process to know that I'm just keeping it real with y'all and telling y'all exactly what I did. Like it's not something that you got to imagine. Oh, I don't imagine saving $50 a check. I did it and I showed you. So it's possible, man.
Right, and one more thing too. This might be kind of difficult because it really is going to depend on your tax bracket. But understanding your taxes, like let me give you an example for you. So you travel, you have this YouTube channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I will put this thing. All right, this is some accounting advice. I'm writing it all off.
Everything. I found a way to. Oh, I didn't tell you. I got an associate degree in accounting. I found a way to write clothing off. Like
right.
It's tough.
You got to do that. You know what I'm saying? You got to think like, again, you have to. We're not inventing anything. Let's just put that out there. We have to sit back and look at how other people and look at their experiences, not their wisdom, but their experiences, and apply those experiences to yourself. All right. And I can guarantee you start doing some of those things, that 10% you're saving or that 12%, it becomes much, much easier. Right. Hey, but the first thing is, like you said, hey, I buy my cars, no car note. Okay. Instead of giving my man, $200 a month in interest, I'm putting that $200 away a month for my retirement.
Yeah.
Right. That's one way of looking at it. Like you said, get rid of the high credit card debts and things of that nature. I can tell you now, I carry a credit card. I have one particular credit card. I use it to purchase everything because I use it for my points. At the end of the month, right. But at the end of the month, what I do is I pay it off because I don't carry cash.
Me either.
Right. So a person might say, well, oh yeah, you might have a $2,000 $2,000 credit card bill every single month. Well, that's how I'm buying everything with it, and that's how much I would spend normally.
No, that's the focus on. You're not overspending for once. You're spending what you normally spend. You need gas, here you go. You need food, here you go. Like, yeah,
right. That's how you do it. Now you can use the points for traveling. Yeah. Right, buy airline ticket,
cashback.
Yeah, all that stuff. You use the game. And the guy who says want to be a minimalist, that's okay, right? Right, that's okay for you to say that, do that, but use the game, and you can still do what you want to do, and don't have to go as extreme.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So, listen, fellas, we got an hour in. I just wanted to make sure that everybody got some information from everybody. Ultimately, like, it's up to you if where you want to see yourself, because I feel as though. And I don't want to come off condescending. There's a lot of people who just don't imagine what's going to happen when you're 45, when you're 50 years old, when you're 70, when you're 60 years old, and you're not able to do what you do now. I'm not going to be able to work in FedEx all my life. I'm not going to be able to do YouTube all my life. Yes, I can sit down and talk, but this is not. Eventually, the atmosphere changes, and maybe I won't be able to do it. So what you got to do now is you got to put yourself in a predicament where in the future you don't have to worry about that. KJ, you want to? So let's go to the last comments, and then hopefully you can give a closing statement on, from the topic of I guess a solution to what it is. Bring it back to the cronyism and the capitalism, and bring all that together. But let's get to the last. Let me see. KJ, yes, yep, and that was a great stream. Appreciate it. We appreciate you, man. All right, so yeah, KJ, final words.
I think if you just sit back and look at it from small scale of being a capitalist, is right, and capitalism, and try to apply those tactics and theories to yourself, I think it will help you down the line, right? When you say socialism to me, right, I'm thinking of like Russia, right, back in the day, right? You're gonna be that in your own home. If you think about it, you actually utilizes those practices in your home. But when you step out that door, that's when you start to apply the capitalist side of things. You think about it, everybody at the house is one income, was all shared amongst everybody. That's how it's done at the house. That's socialism 101, right? When you walk out that door, you're trying to make as much money as possible, right? All right, so now what you want to do is you want to apply all the techniques other individuals are using to help yourself out to get more riches. That's my advice that I would give someone.
Yeah, it's way better than complaining, everybody. It's way better than complaining. It's way better than trying to change the system that isn't meant to be changed. You know, we just gotta. I hope I hope it's more people that think like you. Hope more people that think like me. Like I said, I know everybody has a different way of looking at things, but the way that our past leaders have been using it just hasn't been working for the last 60 some odd years. Like I just seen the other day that black people are, if not lower, barely equal to how we was economically 68 years ago. Like we haven't grown anything economically in the sense of the world around us. But all other minorities that were not as prevalent in the United States have passed us. And it's like, why? It's because we want to complain. We want to try to change the system. You're not going to be able to do it. We got to learn how to work the system. Learn how to, like you said, be socialists at home, be capitalists in the streets, be capitalists at work. And that's that. But I appreciate you for coming through, KJ, man. I hope you come every Money Talk Monday, because you have a lot of information that us brothers can love to use, man.
Definitely, man. I actually have you. I actually have you on my phone, so it comes up. So every time you pop up on all your videos, I shared it with my friends. The gentleman said, "Do I have am I a content creator?" That's something I actually started this year. Actually,
I see the green screen.
Right. So, but we do a sports show because I've been in sports pretty much all my life from the financial side of it. So so that's what we do. The show is called Talking Skit. All right, we had to YouTube don't allow certain things, but I will put a link on there if you allow it.
Yeah.
And then
if anything, send me the link on my Instagram, because I added you on Instagram. Send me the link on Instagram, and I will post it in the description.
Fair enough. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
You can get it, man.
Definitely, man. All right, cool, man. Like I said, enjoy the show.
Thanks, man.
All
right. Final thoughts, y'all, man. Listen, my grandfather once told me, it's not about how you make the money. It's not how much money you have. It's what you do with it. And for me, I added to it. I said, it's not just about what you do with the money, but how you make that money that really determines who you are. Don't worry about what the system is. Don't worry about what, what's trying to stop us or anything. Worry about how you can get past it. Worry about how you can use it to your advantage and become financially free. It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. And yo, make sure y'all go add KJ Foster on his channel. I'm gonna put a link in the description, and make sure y'all subscribe to him. I'm pretty sure they passed 1,000 subscribers already, but if they not, get them there. All right, y'all. Peace.